It's been a rough day. A rough day. Trying to get situated here. Just a lot of stuff going on. Pardon my tardiness. Had to get it done. Had to get the stuff that need to be done. So we got it done. Hoping that you're having a good day. A lot of stuff I want to try to get to. Probably won't be able to get it all done today, but I wanted to talk to y'all about some of the things that should be making some folks, what's a good word to use? Uncomfortable? Making folks feel uncomfortable? And then do you feel uncomfortable enough to talk about it? Do you feel uncomfortable enough to talk about it? Our number is 504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422. So that we can have us a good old conversation. Our talkback number, 504-582-9422. All right? Come on, let's get it in. Well, what you talking about, Gerard? What you talking about? I guess the issues that seem to be marking all of us today, where we're seeing a whole bunch of disruptions going on in the world today. And are we paying attention to what's happening? I got to thank Miss Caroline for being here yesterday, because she gave me some real insight as well. Just by saying, hey, look, we need to pay attention. We need to make sure that our younger folks are paying attention. And it is up to us to teach the younger folks what's going on, so somebody will carry on the legacy. Somebody will carry on understanding your roots. Is that the country way of saying it? Understanding your roots. You understand who you are, where you from. Because we're getting ready to come up on 20 years, y'all, of Katrina, remembering Katrina. And I got to tell you, a lot of us don't feel like 20 years. We don't feel like it's 20 years. A lot of us can remember it just like it happened yesterday. But reaching back and knowing what happened 20 years ago, is it the fact that we were, in the flood? Or was it the way that we were treated because we are less than to some people? Let's talk about that. The way that you were treated, the way the folks in the Superdome were treated, the folks that went across the bridge or trying to get across the bridge, the way that they were treated, the way the folks in Algiers Point were treated, the folks that went to the helicopters, how they were treated. And then we can go back and say how folks were treated after the incident and you had the right to return home. How were you treated? How were you treated with funds that were available through the state? How were you treated? Do you think that you were treated okay? Some folks were treated okay. Some folks were treated okay. But did those folks look like you and me? What does scare me in this whole scenario of bad weather, tornadoes, hurricanes, hail, flooding, and anything and everything in between, what does scare me about it is, look at other parts of the world right now. Well, I'm not even going to say the world. I'm going to say just the United States. Look at other parts of the United States, and it looks like There's something traumatic, weather-wise, happening in everybody's region. You thought about that for a minute? Come on, y'all. Think about that for a minute. It looks like something weather-wise is happening in everybody's region. And it ain't something cute or something good. It's something traumatic. On the West Coast, when we start talking about the fires and the flooding. The East Coast, when we talk about the fires, the heat, the flooding, the tornadoes now in places that you never heard of having tornadoes before. And in the South, tornadoes, hot weather as far as storms are concerned. If we got that happening now, what you think we're going to get in the next couple of weeks with the tornado season and the hurricane season appearing? It's hot outside today. Anybody been outside? It's hot outside today. What you think going to happen when we get into the summertime? And could you go through it again? Ooh, that's a good question, huh? Could you go through it? If a Katrina, by some sort, is headed this way, could you go through it again? I'll take your calls. 504-582-9422. Not saying that nothing's on the way, so let's get that straight right now. Not saying that anything is on the way. Don't be talking it up neither, Gerard. Nope. That's not it. My question to you is, if by any chance something like that happened again, could you rebuild everything again? Go move on the other part of the world, knowing you're going to lose your house, where you stay, all your possessions? Could you go through it again? Because nothing guaranteed, especially with the system we got right now that's supposed to be guarding us as far as all these different floods and water and all of the other stuff happening. Could you and would you go through it again? 504-582-9422 is my number. We'll take the break. While we in break, go ahead on to get your calls lined up so that we can talk to you now. Let's get it in, y'all. 504-582-9422. More coming up.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
NOLA Public Schools is excited for the rest of this 24-25 school year journey with our families, watching our students dive into learning, growth, and success. As the school year continues, our dedicated educators are focused on keeping every student engaged and motivated. Let's keep embracing new challenges, celebrating achievements, and supporting each other to make the rest of this year even more impactful. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS through our social media channels for updates and resources. We're here to help our scholars attend today, achieve tomorrow.
The National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the whole water stove, Pastor David Impartian Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
New Orleans, if you know a young adult or you are a young adult, listen up. This is your chance to level up your future.
Job One's Young Adult Career Expo is going down April 16th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 1307 Oritha Castle Haley Boulevard.
Put on your best outfit, grab your resume, and meet employers from across the city.
Some of them might even hire you on the spot.
This is your moment. Get ready with Job One.
Tell a team, tell a cousin, tell everybody 16 and up. Register now at job1nola.org.
Paid for by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Man, that's an interesting question, huh? 504-582-9422. If something like a Katrina, which was devastating to many people, if something like that happened again, would you come back afterwards? Well, that's it. Nope, ain't gonna do it. Ain't coming back. That's it for me. Enough is enough. I'm moving somewhere else. That's enough for me. I'm like, well, I've had 5 people today I asked that question to. And out of the 5, 4 of them said, that's it, I'm not coming back. I'm be like, but you got a whole bunch of stuff here. You got a house, your cars, your kids' schools. You wouldn't come back? They were like, nope, that's it. Going somewhere else in the world. But I'm thinking to myself, well, the East Coast got these bad thunderstorms, floods, hail. West Coast got it just like the East Coast got it, and they got fires. Let's see. Middle Country got Homeland, that area. They got what? Tornadoes, superstorm cells. I don't think there is a safe place in the world today right now that you can go. So again, as we put that in perspective, would you come back? And then don't forget, on the West Coast, they got earthquakes. Anybody been in an earthquake before? I have. Let's see. I've been in an earthquake, a tornado, a hailstorm. Here, been through hurricanes. I think the only thing that I haven't been through is a tsunami. And Lord have mercy, you want to see somebody just fall out and faint? That'd be me with a tsunami, saying it, see the world take the water away and then see it come back in a 20-foot spill. No, ma'am. No, sir. Don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. So I'm thinking to myself, and I want to hear your opinion about that too. If by any chance they told you that we were going to get at least a category 3, 4, or 5 storm. Would you come back afterwards? Now, remember something, and I'll never forget this because I was hanging out with one of my partners who is a police officer, and they had these radios where they would type out the messages. And I saw his when they were telling him that when Katrina was coming, that it was going to be a category 5. You should expect loss of life. You should expect property that's going to be torn up, destroyed. And I had never seen that when we started talking about hurricanes, because I stayed for several of them. I'm like, oh, that's a little bitty hurricane. We not going to, but a little baby hurricane. But this monster came through and just destroyed everything. The part that gets me is that we got to start all over again. We got to gut our houses, throw your stuff out on the side of the road for them big trucks with those grapplers to come and put it in the back of trucks. Can't put it in the back of garbage trucks. You got to have the guys that you ain't never seen before walking around your yard with Tyvek suits on. People not speaking English. Where the hell y'all come from? And then the other part of it is, do you trust the officials? Now, this is probably bigger than that. Do you trust the officials that are supposed to be making sure that you're going to get whole again to do the work that is needed and not be double dipping at the same time with all the money? Will the money make it to the people this time instead of trying to make money on top of money? Because that's what it was. I'm sorry, that seemed to be what it was, trying to make money on top of money. Because I think, in my opinion, that the way that we were handled compared to some other states was totally a cluster, you know what. I think we invented some of that stuff as we went. And I also think that this was the opportunity for some of those racist bigots and some of those racist groups to really show themselves and who they were as they were operating in communities that were trying to be reserved for white only. You know, like the boys on the West Bank. They were running around with sawed-off shotguns shooting black people thinking that we loitering, or that was an excuse. Or were they? And then there are some folks that tell you that, you know, they were killing some of us and leaving us on the side of the riverbanks for the Coast Guard to pick us up. I was like, what? And we don't want to forget the legacy and the life of Henry Glover, what he had to go through. And then to know that they cut off his head and can't find his skull as of today. Knowing that these horrific things took place. The barbaricness of some of these folks let me know that everybody don't have the same demeanor when it comes to help your fellow man. I think that women played a big role in the recovery. Didn't get a lot of credit at all. And then, of course, you had a lot of folks that were working with agencies that were trying to get and rescue folks, running around in that hot weather because it was 90-some degrees afterwards. all the grass gray. Spray paint on your front door to say you either rescued or they found a body. And then some of us seeing some of those homes that were pushed off of their foundations. Let you know Mother Nature ain't nothing to be played with. All right, Miss Janice, how you doing? Miss Janice?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
You've unpacked a lot.
Huh?
You have unpacked a lot.
I'm sorry. I hope I ain't give you no PTSD.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
The answer first, I'm going to say the answer to your question is, would I come back?
Mm-hmm.
It would just depend on the political environment.
You wouldn't come back then. Because the politics ain't never going away. They never going away. And look, and those folks that are here that have been through it before would probably more than likely already know what to do because they've been through it before. And I think that, you know, the trickery and the games would be played again.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you from my perspective. First, I'm saying you unpacked a lot. I'm originally from California, so I've been through earthquakes. But see, you don't know they're coming.
Nope.
But here, at least you know a hurricane's coming, and you can leave, which I always do.
Right.
To protect, your person and your family. That's a difference. Everything can be replaced. Maybe not exactly like it was, but it can be replaced. You could take some of your mementos with you, but everything can be replaced, except, of course, your life. So from that perspective, now, and also, too, now, I live on the West Bank. So I had damage, but I did not have flood damage. So I think that makes a difference.
What part of the West Bank?
Gretna.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to put the icing on the cake for you.
All right.
I was in the Superdome. Why was I in the Superdome? Because I worked for the state. And it was my job to be with the special needs people.
Okay.
And I was in the Superdome from Sunday through Saturday.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. Now.
You was in there just 6 days?
Yes.
Wow.
Now, as an employee, well, let me back it a little bit. So, the military came in and everything. We could have been relieved, but we weren't.
Right.
Okay. And as an employee, they didn't take care of us. They didn't take care of us. That's why we were still there. And the reason why they partially didn't take care, now we're Orleans, just keep that in mind. But a lot of the reason why they didn't take care of us because they didn't know what the H they were doing. So I'm talking about politics too. So, and I know, well, I'm not going to say I know. I pretty much, I believe that they're not prepared now. Don't think that they are. Don't think that they are. They're not prepared now.
Why do you think that? But why do you feel that?
Excuse me?
No, I'm saying, well, why do you feel that way, that they're not prepared?
Because the people that they have hired and working for them, that's not experienced, they're just not. Okay, and even back then, they, I don't know, it's just so much. They weren't prepared for situations they should have been prepared for. And even when another storm came after, see, me and my staff, and this is my staff, that we do the all of the sort of the recovery things, doing the food stamps and all of that afterwards too. But so when the next storm came, knowing what we had gone through, I questioned them on certain things that we felt they needed to be prepared for. And you know what they told me?
What's that?
Call us and we'll vet it out then.
So they weren't prepared.
I'm trying to tell you, they were not prepared, and I believe they're still not. I mean, I can just give so many examples. I'm retired. I don't care. I don't care. The truth is the truth. The truth is the truth.
Right. I'm with you.
And I can spill whole lot more. But the truth is the truth. So going back to would I come back? I guess it depends on the situation, how much damage I have, what the insurance is going to cover. Now, so we're in a pickle with that.
Right.
What the insurance is going to cover, and I guess it's those type of things. I don't have to at least worry about coming back. Before I had to worry about coming back because I was still employed. And so now I'm retired, so I can go anywhere. So that's not a factor. My children are grown. They're not in school. It's all those little things that kind of keeps you attached to a certain environment, community, or whatever. I could leave. Now, where would I go? Probably to Atlanta.
Okay.
Not that anything's perfect, but probably to Atlanta. And most of the time when we evacuate, that's pretty much where we go.
I ended up in Houston. Then after I left Houston, I went to North Carolina because my family is from North Carolina, and they were really worried. And pretty much I was being chased by them because another hurricane was coming, and it went to North Carolina.
Right,
I was
Rita.
like, I'll be damn, So I had to leave North Carolina and come back, and then I came back here. And when I came back here, I ended up working with the military and FEMA to, help people out. And you never know how many people really needed help, and the length of time to say that we got so many resources, but the length of time for it took to get here. That's the part that scared me. I'm like, what's the holdup with getting resources in an area that needs it the most? And in some areas of the city, and my thought pattern, didn't flood, didn't need rebuilding, and they got the resources first. That's the part that says the politics.
That's what I'm telling you.
Plays big role. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. And some of it, I'm just telling you, they are not. They weren't, and I still don't believe. I don't believe anything's changed for them to be prepared. They had to the road home. They had to. You realize they had to make that program up. They had to start it and build it and make it up. So I just know how people in the policymakers, I just know how they operate, how they think, especially if they have not experienced things themselves.
So would this give you PTSD thinking about it?
A little bit, and that's why I'm in my car, and was about to go handle some business, and I just decided, today is the day. Let me just stop, and I'm gonna call in and just tell y'all what's happening.
I have to agree with you when you said you don't think everybody's or the folks who prepared. I don't think the folks that are prepared are not just the little people. I think the folks that are not prepared are the ones that make the decisions for you and me.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I mean. Oh, that's exactly what I mean.
And let me tell you why I use that analogy. Now, I know Colin, who is the head of Homeland Security for New Orleans, and I've known him for years. But one thing that bothers me about New Orleans when we talk about getting prepared and we have all these rainstorms, and we think about the rainstorm we just had, last week, and all that flooding happened, we really have not had a plan for that rainstorm except don't go down this street, or don't go down, turn around, don't drown. But the other flooding has been park your car on the neutral grounds. I haven't heard us talk too much in New Orleans about sandbagging. How do we make sure that this area of the city is not going to be underwater? And talking about the ways that we don't drown, the ways that we don't. I haven't heard a lot of that planning for certain parts. One of the parts is New Orleans in itself. Have you?
No. No. Now, I'm in Jefferson Parish.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jefferson Parish, to me, always talks about, hey, this is where you can go get sandbags. Here are the streets that you should be careful on that we know are going to flood. The underpasses we know that are going to flood. Now, I know that they do the underpasses for here in New Orleans. But I'm thinking to myself, if a meteorologist is telling you that we're going to have a certain amount of inches of rain in a certain period of time, shouldn't there be already a preparation plan that's put in effect?
You're right. Come get your sandbags if you don't have them.
Come get them now.
And keep them and maintain them.
Right.
Because you're going to need them. You absolutely are going to need them.
And then staging those areas of the city with those guys that have those pumps that they can move around. They should be under those underpasses. They should be already there. So when it does happen, we've got that extra pump going on.
Nothing.
So I'm just looking at it and saying all those guys should be ready to roll and know that they on standby. But maybe it's me.
No, it's not. that goes under the umbrella of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, okay, and I'm talking about from the state on down.
Yep. We can send the state troopers down here to arrest the criminals. How about the innocent folk that are going to get caught up in this storm? What y'all going to do? So I'm just saying, I just think that we can do a whole lot better if that's how it's going to be from now on. Because things have changed, Ms. Janice, from the first time that I called here. From the first time that I moved here to now, things have changed. Parts of this city that are flooding now have never flooded before.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly, because I have family that lives uptown, and one of these last storms in the last few months, they all run together to meet at this point. But it flooded it. Never. My family's lived in this area since the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Never flooded. But it flooded a few months ago.
Yep.
The street, and pretty bad.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Never had since the 50s.
Well.
What's up with that?
Well, you notice we have not heard anything else about cleaning out the drains?
No, and we get out there and clean out our own drain. Well, and where my relatives live, we just go do that.
Yep.
But I'm not bragging, because I'm if somebody say where you from, I'm gonna say I'm from New Orleans. But I'm just telling you, I live in Gretna, and we are amazed. We're just amazed at what they do compared to Orleans. They come around, they clean the drains. We'll clean them too, but they'll clean the drains.
Yeah.
If a street sign is down, I'm not exaggerating. If a street sign is down, I can call them people, and I guarantee you, I've seen them change it in 24 hours, up to 72, the longest.
Wow.
It would be that they'll put up a new sign.
Yeah.
A stop sign, a street sign, whatever. And it's like, there they go.
Yeah. Yeah. Ms. Janice.
And this is no reason for this. To me, it's no reason why Orleans cannot function like that.
Yep, you're correct. Ms. Janice, I got to take my break, my dear. I appreciate you, though, because you laid it out for me. That's what I needed. I needed to hear that. You're
exactly right.
But I appreciate your comments as well, too. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you much.
Y'all have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, more coming up, folks. We got to take a break here. More coming up next.
Hi, I'm I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
The second weekend of Jazz Fest is here. Don't miss Lenny Kravitz, Thames, Patti LaBelle, Trombone Shorty, Kamasi Washington, The Wailers featuring Julian Marley, Lettucey Sings Nina, Morris Day and The Time, Ricky Dillard and New G, Terrence Blanchard, and hundreds more. The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. Tickets and info at nojazzfest.com. Miller Lite, official sponsor of Jazz Fest.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Tribune raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival and a cause for celebration. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Sanger Theater May 13th through 18th. Tickets at BroadwayInNewOrleans.com.
Hey, Pontchartrain Park. Thanks for listening to WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. Oh, man. I wanted to make sure that everybody was prepared. Boy, a lot of discussion going on online on Facebook. If y'all are not on Facebook, make sure you go on our page, WBOK 1230 AM. You'll see all the conversation that is going on from our folks from Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish. No matter what parish you in, are you ready? Because what, hurricane season coming up in June, was that June 1st? June 1st, so you got what, less than probably 30, 31, 32 days? And it's coming. Are you ready? Hurricane preparedness. Shooting today, are you daggone severe weather storm preparedness? I don't even know how you get prepared for that. That weather be coming through here, booming sometime. I'm going to be like, did you see lightning? So did the rest of the world. The other thing, too, that we got to talk about, and I want your opinion on this, too. These are opinionated days. The first 100 days of your president. Yes, it's that time as the Trump administration nears its first 100 days and how the White House stands on its promises. As a candidate, President Donald Trump made various pledges to voters at rallies and interviews. And he said, here's a look at what's been done, what's happening now, and what is yet to happen. The day I took the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins. Well, his numbers are going down. And one thing that we found out about Trump a long time ago is that he paid attention to his numbers. I'm wondering how he feels, because he's not going to say anything about these numbers going down. How does he feel about those numbers going down? And when I say they're going down 35%. That's what it's ending up being. It didn't go down 35%. It's down to 35%. The lowest of any president on record because of what he's doing in these tariff wars. 35% is his numbers right now. Can't feel good about it. Can't feel good about it. So within hours of taking office on January 20th, Trump signed an executive order titled Protecting the American People Against Invasion. The order directs the Department of Homeland Security to deport all inadmissible and removable aliens, particularly those who the White House has threatened the safety of security of American people. And in March, they uncovered or invoked the Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelan migrants, the administration accused of being members of Trendaruga Gang, signed into law by John Adams in 1798. That's what we're acting on right now. The act was passed by Congress at a time when the United States was preparing for what it might have thought was going to be war with France. It gives the president wide powers to imprison and deport non-citizens in a time of war. The Trump administration has increasingly described the migrant issue as a war, most notably by designating 8 Latin American criminal groups, including Trendaruga and MS-13, as foreign terrorist organizations. Those terrorists, I said tourists, but terrorist organizations. The Supreme Court has allowed the White House, again, to use the act, but ruled that the administration must give Venezuelans its claims or gang members the chance to legally fight any deportation orders. The ruling did not address the constitutionality of the act. In a video post to social media in May 2023, then candidate Trump pledged that he would end birthright citizenship if he was elected. While on his first day in office, Trump also signed an executive order seeking to end just that. Legal challenges swiftly allowed attorneys general in 22 states suing to block the move. 3 federal judges have blocked the order while litigation continues. We're going to see what comes out of that one. We shall see. All right, we got to take another break here for news. We'll take the break. We'll come back. We'll have some more conversation with you as we see is Make America Great Again happening, or is it just a slogan that nobody's paying attention to? More coming up, y'all. News is next, and we'll come right back to you. You can take some of your telephone calls at 504-582-9422. More next.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Misty Jordan with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Philadelphia Eagles star Saquon Barkley played golf with President Trump over the weekend, and people are coming for him. In a social media post, the black running back said, quote, "Maybe I just respect the office. Not a hard concept to understand," end quote. The number of job openings fell to a 6-month low in March. The Labor Department says more than 7 million jobs were available last month, which is down for the year. About 6% of black Americans are unemployed. UPS will lay off 20,000 workers before the end of the year. The cuts are linked to a drastic drops in Amazon deliveries, which is their largest customer. Since the 1950s, UPS made a commitment to develop and promote African Americans from entry-level positions to the C-suite. And rapper and record exec Master P is 55 years old today. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. It's 5 o'clock. Oh, everybody getting off work. Everybody getting off work. Don't you wish today was Friday? It's hot outside, too. It is hot. So we're talking about a couple of things, and we're talking about the first 100 days of Yo President. Notice what I said, Yo President. First 100 days. What What do y'all think? I think if I listen to Farrakhan enough, I'm probably going to be radicalized at some point in time because he made a great statement to several folks. One in particular on 60 Minutes when they asked him many years ago, how he felt about the Nation of Islam, NOI, doing business with these folks in Africa, the government of Africa, and they called it so corrupt that they should be ashamed of themselves doing business. And that's one of the times where I saw where he got very upset and told them, you have the raw gall to say anything about an organization, a governmental organization that does anything illegal. You're sitting up here having a conversation about Nigeria, Ghana, all these different small regimes of countries that you're calling corrupt. But look at the big brotherhood of America and the number of things that America has done over its 200 years that could be classified as corrupt, that could be classified as something wrong. And before you start talking or throwing rocks at somebody else's doorstep, you need to sweep yours first. Boy, I thought I was going to fall in the flow. He said, imagine all the different things that America has done that have been corrupted, that have nothing but ill will towards their fellow man, whether they are friend or foe. Imagine the number of times in the 200-year history of America that we could say that they've done nothing to protect its people, but yet treat us like we came here to kick them out, when it was you all who came to our country and kidnapped us. I was like, uh-oh, come on, get with it. And we are the people that have built this America that you love so much. Inventors, builders, engineers, architects. The entire makeup of America comes from people that you're now saying don't belong here. And saying, before you keep telling us that we don't belong here, you need to look at yourselves and try to figure out where you're from. Because you weren't born here. You didn't move here just to be moving here. You came over and stole the land from the Native Americans that owned it first. You all belong to a European nation, not here. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, boy, Farrakhan said it, and he's probably the only one that can say it from that high mountaintop. And really mean it. And everybody hear it. I thought that was my high for the day. That was my high for the day. And no matter how you and I look at this situation of, who belongs here, who don't belong here, whatever, no matter how we look at it and we try to analyze it, the truth is the truth. No matter how many folks want to tell you something different, the truth is the truth. We don't own Duty Squad. But if I had to think about it, the reason you own so much land in the country is because more than likely you stole it from somebody. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. So as I reminisce about these past 20 years. I was talking to Warren Riley not too long ago. Warren, for those of you who don't know, he is ex-police chief for the NOPD for the city of New Orleans. I was talking to him about his new book that gives insight about what happened from a lawman's perspective during Hurricane Katrina. You got so many stories on there. Once you start reading this book, Eye of the Storm, you more than likely will start reading it and won't put it down. When I remember talking to him about, can you tell me some of the incidents that happened during the time when you were on a boat or when you were getting ready for the storm? And I'll never forget, he was telling me that he was over by headquarters. He said, you know that storm was going to be powerful when you saw the flood that was going by the window of the NOPD headquarters, and the water was going one way. And then 10 minutes later, because of the winds were being so strong, that the entire flow of that water went from north to south, back down from south to north. It changed the whole flow of water. I was like, I didn't never see nothing like that. How do you change? I'm not talking about no little bitty, a little trinkle of water. I'm talking about it's like a lake. Turned it around. Like, good Lord. But after I think about the number of people that lost their lives, not because they drowned, because there were enough of those as well, but enough people that drowned, lost their lives because of heat exhaustion, stress, not taking care of themselves, and also trying to rebuild. Those were some scary times. And I don't want us to have to go through that again. I don't want to go through. Don't want you to have to go through that again as well. Because I know some of you ain't going to survive. And even though that I'm saying some of you, hell, I could be one of them too. Mother Nature don't play. Mother Nature don't play. And it makes me scared to know that there are some people that you talk to today that wouldn't be around by the end of the night because they have exerted themselves too much and don't have a clue on when to stop. Women, we ain't just talking to the men. We talking about y'all too. So don't think y'all scot-free in the conversation. You're not. Some of y'all too. Oh, Gerard, man, you seeming like you talking about doom and gloom today. No, it bothers me that a lot of you are nonchalant about what's to come. Let me say that again, just in case you didn't hear me. It bothers me that it doesn't bother you. And you're going to end up doing something strange or starting from the bottom and on your way to the top. And now we're here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. You can best bet we will be in a time that is almost archaic looking. Just because. Well, we must be really getting to somebody today because I can see everybody. I can see everybody online. I can see the folks be like, "What are you talking about? That doom and gloom." I probably done kicked off somebody's PTSD too. How many of you had PTSD during Katrina? Or after Katrina? You hear a loud boom these days, you ready to either run or fight, one of the two. Nobody wants to hear that again. Nobody. Nobody wants to hear that anymore. Nobody. Well, give me something that you're talking about. Okay. Something that stuck with me for over the past 20 years. Going in the lower ninth ward. And seeing streets looking one way 4 or 5 hours prior to the storm happening. And then seeing how they look after the storm. And a lot of folks think they're prepared, but they really are not. All right, think about that for a minute. Most people think that they are prepared, and you are not. I'm shocked that you would even say something like that, Gerard, because you don't know. Oh, yeah, we do. Grocery stores and hardware stores and convenience stores, they have inventory, and they have an inventory list. Most of them also know that they got to keep an inventory list just because. So let's say that a grocery store ordered 30, 40 loaves of bread, and you got to put all of them out. What does that tell you? That you got about 30, 40 different families out there that are sitting on the corner that still don't have all of themselves together. Why you think that, G? Because it's the truth. They don't have themselves together. Honestly, tell me the truth. Tell me that you have yourself together now, honestly. Those of you that don't, please call me and tell me, no, I don't, G. I'm part of the Don't Club. You got yourself together? You got your important documents and Ziploc bags ready to roll? You got your Tyvek? You got your gloves, mask? You got all of that ready now. You got a box full of condiments and goods and stuff so you can just put it in the car. So you ain't got to stop on the road and buy a whole bunch of groceries. You already got it? That would be you. That would be you. But now, if you don't believe me, check it for yourself. You have a double and triple whammy if you're not moving to put yourself in a better place. What you mean? Y'all think about something. you don't buy these groceries now, they're going to be too high to buy. Not only will you have those gouging you, you will also have those that are trying to put tariffs on different food labels. I don't want to be the spoiler. I don't want to be the one that's got everybody feeling down like something's going to happen. But if I'm making you get up and go to the store so that you'll get everything that you need to put in that box, and I'm making you do it today, well, then let me go head on with the attitude. Let me keep the attitude going. I think you have got to be able to put yourself in a perfect position to say, let's get up out of here when it's time to get up out of here. Don't sit around and wait and then get caught in traffic and then you're doing contraflow. Oh, my God. I hope I don't ever have to go through that again. Because if you do, be in those prepared lines to sit there for 13, 15, 17 hours and be wondering, are you going to have enough gas? Gouging, as those folks are coming in and saying, oh, we got the gas trucks on the side of the road. I'm just thinking, how do you keep people safe? We got to figure that out. We really do. We got to figure that part out. None of that was for any fun. No, I can't tell you nothing. Nada. Zero. Zilch. I can't tell you none of that. That was fun. That you had a good time. That you believed in the fact that, oh, that's so and so and so. All right, they don't mean it. They don't mean it. I can't tell you none of that. What do we do? What do we do? All right, folks. I did enough preaching. Today. I got another topic that I'm going to get into. I'm going to start it off today, but I got a lot of follow-up to do. And yes, my buddies in the NOPD, I got to talk about y'all for a minute. I got to talk about y'all just for a minute. And it's something that is bothering me that we need to talk about. I'll put it that way. We'll talk about it next. Go and call the folks and tell them, boy, NOPD is up next. They're going to be in a hot seat. Yep. You'll see next. More coming up, folks. Everybody hold tight.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Former world champion track and field star Marion Jones believes she can prove that redemption is possible. At one time, one of the world's most gifted athletes, Jones was stripped of her Olympic gold medals and sent to prison for lying about using steroids during a federal investigation. Jones shared her perspective on success and setbacks on Bloomberg.
Everybody can relate to some type of failure in their life, whether it's a failure in their career, in their relationships, financial failure. And what I've learned from mine is that it's thankfully not forever. We don't have to stay there. Being stuck is a choice. And even bigger than I think all of that is this idea that your setbacks in life don't have to be forever, and your comeback can be that much bigger and better.
Jones is working on her comeback story now as an entrepreneur and a positive influence. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Just a kid who grew up in New Orleans East. First attended public schools, then to St. Augustine High School. After college, Arthur Hunter became a police officer. And while community policing the housing projects, Arthur Hunter worked his way through Loyola Law School at night and became a respected judge who lectured at Harvard, Yale, and Columbia Law Schools. Now, Arthur Hunter is asking to be your next mayor. Because the best way to get better police officers is from a mayor who's been a police officer. To bring life back to our playgrounds and neighborhoods is a mayor who played on them as a kid. And to have a government that's accountable is a mayor who's been a criminal court judge. Arthur Hunter. He's been called the best candidate for mayor you may not know yet, but you will. Arthur Hunter, mayor. Paid for by Arthur Hunter for New Orleans.
Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
This is Jackie Jones with Class Act Entertainment. Join us on May 11 at the Honor Thy Mother Theater Brunch in partnership with WBOK at the Jean Lafitte Auditorium. Experience the red carpet with live interviews and photo ops, along with a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. Highlighting the afternoon is the original stage play, Mama. The finale, live concert with Piano Man G. Get your tickets at 504-491-1179.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back. I've been looking at some of the newspaper articles that are coming out, and even some of the. I like to read the New Orleans Agenda. I don't know if anybody else reads that. If you can, get on Sylvain Solutions and subscribe. It's a Vincent Sylvain's article that you get every day called the New Orleans Agenda. And I think Vincent has been doing this for a long time. Vincent, I ain't trying to tell nobody how old you are, but you've been doing this a long time. And I think that he talks about a lot of important topics. And it really, I guess more so than anything else, it really bothered me that even misinformation can make the news from those that you think know what they're talking about and have no daggone clue whatsoever. And you know the people. It bothered me Now, this might sound like some chastisement, and if it does, so be it. It bothered me that my friend Willie Gable, Dr. Reverend Willie Gable, and the Ministerial Alliance, because that's what he wanted everybody to understand when he was on the air the other morning, that it was the Ministerial Alliance, but you, the president, voted to say no to this millage for the sheriff's office. It's not a new tax. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. If you've been paying attention to it, you know by now that it is not a new tax. It is a renewal tax for the running of the jail. So let me put some things in perspective that you'll hear from me that you ain't going to hear from nobody else. There have been, and still are, some folks in our community that don't want to hear that this millage is going to go through. Not because they're saying no new taxes, because they want to see the jail go down. They don't want the jail here no more. And one thing that I do know about Louisiana, when there is some politics about this jail, which you would never think that a jail, a building that houses those that might make communities unsafe, would end up being a political brainstorm of somebody. And it's not because the jail isn't something that we need to be protecting as well. It's because some of those political pundits have reached out to those ministers with cash in hand to get them, to get their sheep to follow you and say no. Why? Because they know that if the jail fails and we don't have the money for it, is that they're going to come out and say, oh, well, then the state should take it over. If the state takes over the jails in Orleans Parish, East Baton Rouge Parish, and in Caddo Parish, you can best bet that the majority of those jails, including Plaquemine Parish, are going to end up being private jailing. Meaning that somebody has said, well, you got to make sure that it's 80% full at all times. And we'll sign a contract with you and provide the state some money to jail these inmates. Well, why would they do that, G? Y'all think about something for a minute. You got 80% jailing of an institution at all times, and I'm going to pay you for it. That means a private jail. I can get you to manufacture any and everything in that jail for cents on the dollar. I would get you to do it. I get you to make my baseballs, to make my furniture, and pay you, Mr. Jailer, 20 and 30 cents on the dollar. And I take that product that you just crafted so well and sell it in my stores. And I don't have to pay you. Well, I give you cents on the dollar just because you need some sense to be able to, try to have you some books, some money on your books. Y'all think about that for a minute. Y'all think about that for a minute. Somebody want to take it over, what I got to do? Give you some false and misinformation to make you go, oh, no, I don't pay for that. Then you're going to pay for it later anyway. I'm closed down the jail, and then I'm going to move you to another part of the state and put you in a jail that's for hire. Or take this one over. Then what else happens? Then if I take that over and I can jail it, well, what comes next? What comes next? I don't need some of you all, so I'm going to put it in. So, we'll have the Attorney General to go up and fight Baton Rouge to see if we can get those 15, 16-year-olds also to be put in jail, in adult jail, instead of being in juvenile jail. That's hundreds that come through Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish, East Baton Rouge Parish, and Caddo Parish. That's the black areas of the city, of the state. You're going to end up in jail. Your kid going to end up in adult jail. Ain't nothing you can do about it because you're going to be done voted for it. And guess what? They're going to be in adult jail with the adults. So guess what we're not going to need? Juvenile court. We're not going to need the black judges that are in juvenile courts. We won't need you no more. Shut it down. It's a lot more than just a tax. And that's the part that I think that we've not done a good job in looking into. There's a whole lot more that goes along with that. All right, BW. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey there. Hey there, G. How's it going?
All right, yourself.
Good. Look here. I was looking at the early voting stats, and you were talking about the referendum for this Saturday, when you only had about 7,000 people to early vote in Orleans Parish, compared to the number of voters that had participated in early voting in March. That was about almost 21,000 people.
Right.
And it doesn't look good for the home team based on the information that you were just sharing now.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm surprised that I'm probably the only person that's really going to tell you, here's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we're going to lose. And it's not just the money. It's got a lot to do with what's coming after that. And maybe there should have been some scaring the hell out of folks to let you know your baby going to adult jail, and it's going to be for hire.
Mm-hmm. And then too, in that sense, in a way, it won't be at Angola, but still to have a juvenile in jail, it still does not make sense. And then too, if the referendum doesn't fail, the money has got to come from somewhere, or something will be going up, wouldn't it?
And well, the money, if the money is taken away,
right,
it'll probably have to come through the city hall. So City Hall is going to have to fund this themselves. And if they come out and say, hey, we just don't have the money to fund it, then the state's more than likely going to try to take over. And if you look at the moves that they're making, and including Liz Murrill, who is the Attorney General, who is now supporting or getting somebody in the legislature during this session to write bills to say, hey, we need to take those juveniles and put them in adult courts and put them in adult jail.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on somebody's ballot. And if they put them in adult jail, guess what? If this jail doesn't work out and they shut it down, then your 15, 16, 17-year-olds are going to go to Louisiana State Penitentiary.
And I had also, and then I was listening to something about a $39 million facility being built, or the funding has been approved to build one. Is that correct or what?
Yep. and that's going to end up being private. It might be a state building or state correction institution, but it's going to be run or managed by a private industry.
And then, as you were mentioning layoffs, you're talking about jail personnel too, and
jail personnel. I would even go as far as saying we'll be getting rid of those juvenile court justices, those judges at some point in time. Yes. Because if this bill passes, then guess what? I'm saying if the bill passes, because as they're now talking about this money that's going to go or not go to the jail, they're also looking at, and I got to pull up the bill, they don't want the juvenile court justices to be here anymore. They said that Orleans Parish has more juvenile court justices along with Shreveport and East Baton Rouge than any other parishes.
But you know what, G? On the last election, one of those amendments was dealing with the specialty courts.
Yes.
So is this another way of
down the line? They didn't give up on it. They didn't give up on it.
Yeah.
They're just going to introduce it another way.
Another way. Yeah. I'm looking at that. I said these guys will not stop.
Nope. That's why we got to be aware all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the part of these voting issues that make me go, the misinformation and that misinformation that's coming from our ministerial alliances.
Mm-hmm.
Do they really understand what they get ready to do? They get ready to put their congregation's children in jail.
Right. Man, because I had seen these red and white signs, but I did not see any names.
Nothing. Didn't tell you
there
where
were
it
no
came
organizations underneath.
Didn't tell you who did it. It just appeared.
And
it's against the law.
Yeah. It makes no sense, G.
So,
but I would just implore everybody, this is the only item on the ballot.
Yep.
It should only take you about 1 minute.
That's
2
right.
minutes.
To
2
go vote
minutes
yes.
would be too long.
There you go. Well,
I
got you. All right, BW,
Okay.
I got to take a break here.
All right.
I appreciate you, my friend. All right, we got to take a break. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. Do the 45. All right.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. Today marks 100 days into Donald Trump's second term, and while he's holding a victory rally in Michigan, a state buckling under his terrors, his approval ratings are tanking. According to Gallup, this is one of the lowest 100-day marks for a newly elected president since Eisenhower. Trump's administration is touting so-called efficiency reforms, but critics call it sabotage. He signed 139 executive orders, gutted civil rights rules, gutted the Department of Education, rolled back DOJ protections, went after DEI at every level, all while handing out billion-dollar contracts to billionaire friends like Elon Musk, whose companies earn $8 million a day, even as seniors survive on just $65 a day. In the face of deep cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, and federal workforce jobs, Democrats took to the Capitol steps at dawn, railing against a budget bill backed by President Trump that will wreak havoc on the American people. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
As the French Quarter Festival was coming to a close, a 36-year-old man brazenly opened fire in front of New Orleans police officers, wounding 5 people. It is a horrifying reminder of how quickly joy and celebration can turn into chaos and fear. Now, what makes this incident even more disturbing is what it reveals about the law, or the lack of it. Earlier this year, you'll recall the Louisiana State Legislature passed a law allowing permitless concealed carry. Now, that means anyone over 18 can legally carry a hidden firearm in public. No permit, no background check, no training required. Let that sink in. No authorization, no checking to see whether someone shouldn't have a gun, no training to make sure someone knows how to use a gun. Just a gun in their pocket, waistband, jacket, or on their ankle. Police are expected to manage crowded events, busy city streets, and tense situations without being able to question who's carrying a weapon until it's already too late. Their hands are tied, and we are left vulnerable. Any irresponsible ass with a gun is free to put your life and my life at risk. Now, this isn't about gun rights. It's about basic responsibility. Requiring permits and training isn't an infringement. Duh. It's just common sense. It protects the public, and it protects the officers who put their lives on the line every day. Now, if a man can open fire right in front of law enforcement during a festival, maybe it's time the state legislature admits this law needs a second look. This can't be about politics. This must be about public safety. It's time to give police a chance to protect us before lives are lost. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Didn't catch this morning's conversation? No worries. The Good Morning Show is now a podcast on all your favorite apps. Just search WBOK Media, find The Good Morning Show, and make it part of your daily routine. Download it, share it, and rate it 5 stars. Start your day with something real.
Connect with NOLA Public Schools. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X for the latest updates. Sign up for District Digest, our official newsletter where we share district achievements, celebrate student successes, and keep you informed about our vision of providing a high-quality education. And don't miss our school board meetings. Watch in person or live stream on YouTube. Stay informed. Stay engaged. Visit NOLAPublicSchools.com today. Again, that's NOLAPublicSchools.com.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Tribune raves it's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival and a cause for celebration. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Sanger Theater May 13th through 18th. Tickets at BroadwayInNewOrleans.com.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
This summer, let your child's creativity shine at Camp Art, New Orleans' most vibrant, arts-driven camp experience for kids ages 4 to 12. Hosted by Beyond the Stage, Camp Art blends visual art, theater, music, dance, and creative writing with New Orleans history and culture. Plus, field trips, guest artists, and camper showcases. With full-day programming before and after care and sessions starting June 9th, it's the perfect fit for working parents. Fun, enriching, unforgettable. Register now at BeyondTheStageLLC.com/campart and follow us on social media at Beyond the Stage LLC.
Get in on the conversation at 504-582-9422. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. A few minutes here before we get ready to get out of here for a Tuesday. I don't know why today. I keep thinking today is Friday, but that's all right. Today is Tuesday. All day, someday. Don't forget, Saturday is Election Day. And from what I'm hearing from a whole bunch of folks, it's going to end up being a low voter turnout. But you would think that this would be a high voter turnout, and a lot of you would start looking at this millage. Forget the misinformation. Forget the folks that are trying to tell you, oh, it's a new tax, because it's not. You're going to see a lot of television commercials in the next couple of days that are saying vote for it. I've seen the misinformation that's coming from signs that are saying don't vote for it. I've heard that from political pundits that are saying the same thing. You'd be surprised, y'all, on who's behind some of this stuff. And I would be remiss if I didn't say this. It's not the other candidates that are running for sheriff. It's not them. And I can fully, honestly say that because the majority of them I've talked to, and they made it a point to tell me, hey, I need you to know that ain't me. Because if I win, I'm going to need that money to run the jail too. I was like, yeah, I know. So who could it be when the signs just appear in the middle of the night? The rules of the law state that you got to have somebody saying paid for by on the bottom of it. They have to take credit for their artwork and for their political beliefs, and they are not. Who could it be? Who could it be? It had to be somebody that I don't want you to know that it's me. Who could that be? It is not thee. It's not we. Who could it be? It's usually that person that has a lot to lose if they don't win. And so far, the political pundits didn't win with those amendments, but they're going to try to win with this one. It's just another way to say we're going to lock your kids up. And they're going to become labor-stricken because we don't want to feed them and treat them like they got no humanity. We want to lock them up so that we can make them work for cents on the dollar. Not no minimum wage. And we need to keep them 80% full. Who? The people? No, the jails. At all times so that we can make some money from these institutions that want to see these lockups happen so that they can get free labor for these corporations and don't have to hire you to come work for them. You'll be in the manufacturing business. Sure you will. And a lot of folks that's going to end up this locked up got mad skills and can do artwork. I mean, paint, create, smart. But you'll be doing it for cents on the dollar, not no minimum wage or any higher wage. You'll be doing it for cents, 80 cents an hour. You're already getting 3 meals a day, a place to stay, a place to wash your behind. You just can't go nowhere. And while you paying your debt back to society, you might as well just come on and do it and be of servitude. Well, I don't know about that one, G. That's what happens. And that's what happens. I had a buddy of mine that worked at the correction facility outside of Baton Rouge, and he was always talking to me about these young men that were in the jail that knew how to make wood furniture. And I mean real wood furniture. And they would make the tables and the chairs and, I mean, make your dining room table and your dining room chairs. I mean, and be heavy because it's real wood. You go to some place like, Rooms to Go or some other facility where it is, then guess what you got? You got a living room or a dining room set for cents on the dollar for the manufacturers compared to the people that's getting ready to sell it. I'm going to pay you cents on the dollar, but I'm going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars behind you and your labor. It's coming. If we don't act now, it's coming. What you say, George?
Man, y'all keep hearing me say they ain't got to put you in chains to make you a slave.
Nope.
I don't know why my people sitting out here feeling comfortable. They hear the call. First of all, y'all told them about the school system. The only requirement for New Orleans public schools to receive money is what? How many people they keep in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Come on, bro. How many people they keep in attendance? So we know it's the same old play. What we used to call it, bro, the pipeline from schools to jails.
Well, this one is strategic in how it is, and it's got everything to do with the movement of money. Because I'm telling you, if that $13 million doesn't go toward some of the reentry programs, and look, you know that I've been working with the sheriff, and because I learned about the reentry programs a long time ago, and I was like, man, these young cats are learning some skills, and I wanted to be with that. So I just said to myself, work with her, which I have been doing, but I know that a whole bunch of folks are not trying to cut down on the recidivism rates. They want to see those folks go back to jail. That's labor.
That's labor.
Yep.
Free in the Constitution. Once you become subject to the judicial system, you are a slave.
You are in servitude. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And I'm like, it's a sad conversation, bro, but that's why, I be tuning in to WBOK and listening to you, bro, Gerard G. Man Stevens. I'm talking about the reality check, bro, because this is a reality check.
Yep.
This is like, it's like what you do, and it's like I've been hearing this noise about these percentages and all of the stuff that people are talking about why they voting no. And the silence and what really kills me, right? I'm going to say this. I'm going to sound like I'm going way off track. If our pastors are not informed enough to really understand what's going on, they should keep the goddamn mouth shut. They should keep their mouth shut. And because if your constituents, for me, my number one saying on any given Sunday, there's just about more black women in jail than there is in church. Your number one constituent, black pastors, are females, and if that is the total disruption of the African American community, when you start assaulting the female, you now taking the children. You are discarding the children, and I call it discard, bro. Because if all these so-called doctor, PhD pastors now are not intelligent enough to read or understand bills and make and bruh, it's so sad that we've been bought so badly.
Well, guess who's the number one person behind pushing this bill?
Tell me, bro. Make my heart sink, bro.
A woman. Liz Merrill, the Attorney General, she's pushing this bill in this legislative session for it to go through to be able to lock up the kids in adult jail. Liz Merrill,
but she ain't locking up white kids, bro. Know who Liz Merrill is.
Yeah, but you got to think about it. And where do these juveniles have to go to court more so? In black areas. Shreveport, East Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. And you heard your own governor say, we need to get rid of some of these judges here. Guess what? If I take the young folks and put them in adult courts, then the juvenile judge courts are no longer needed. They gone. They lose their jobs.
Good night. Close the doors. You could use that space for something else, bro.
Yep.
It'd be pre-hearing detention centers. Yeah, that's where they're going to hold them at, because they're going to overload the local jailhouse. And they're gonna say, well, we can't put the kids in the jail. Well, we got space, and you're gonna go there, and all them courthouses they close down are just gonna be pre-hearing detention centers, bro. Because it's that massive that you're talking about.
Yeah,
when you're talking about
hundreds
all of the private prisons.
Yep.
When you're talking about all of the private prisons and the percentage that they need to keep up the numbers, you're talking about huge amounts of people that's going to be invested or involved. They're not going to be invested. They're going to be investments.
Now, understand something, too. This reminds me of what happened with Bobby Jindal and the mental health courts. And the reason why it reminds me of that is because one of the issues that people have here is there's a lot of folks that are not doing well economically that don't have a vehicle. So if your child is put in adult court 3 hours or 4 hours away from you, I'm sorry, in adult jail 3 or 4 hours away from you, then there's the possibility of those parents not being able to find a way or get a way to go visit their child at any time. So that child is going to be on his own.
Bruh. And when you're looking at the people whose children are more subject to fall into these situations, you're already talking about the unprivileged, underclassed people to start with.
Yep.
You know, and that's why I'm going to go back to this. I don't know where we got comfortable, bro, where black people got comfortable.
Listening to idiotic bull crap that's coming from folks that are misinformed and telling you and thinking that they know what they're talking about when they say, oh, yeah, don't vote for that. Like, what?
Bruh.
And then gonna holler, amen. I don't need to call no names.
Bruh, don't call no names, bruh, because we already kind of got an idea who some of them slouchy pigs is anyway. Oh, I meant to say reverence. Yeah.
But it is what it is right now, but I need everybody to pay attention, so I'm going to do another show on this at least by Friday so that everybody know where we are.
Please, bruh. Please,
right, I appreciate you.
Black, if I ain't listening to Gerard G. Man Stevens on the Reality Check, WBOK 1230 a.m. on my radio all day and all night anyway, and with my man Nyron on the backboard, y'all got Nyron working slave labor over there. I didn't say that. But anyway, if I ain't listening, bro, I'm going to miss out on these black facts I need to know. This information is to the next show. I'll be listening, bro.
I'm gone.
Love you.
Love you too, bro. Talk to you later. All right, that's going to wrap things up for me. Appreciate everybody for being a part of the show. Coming up, the Arnie and Carrie Show. They'll be talking about some great stuff. So make sure you check them out. They are next, right here on WBOK.